When I first started looking at a 55-inch screen for my home office and the little side business I'm building, I kept picturing how easy it would be to swap my clunky laptop monitor for something that could double as a digital sign for my clients. The idea of a TV that could sit on a wall, stay on all day, and still give me a crisp 4K picture sounded perfect until I thought about the hidden costs. Will it really handle 24-hour operation? Will the smart platform be a help or a headache? And more importantly, am I paying for features I'll never use? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent the past week setting up the LG 55UH5QE in two very different environments, a bright co-working space and a dim home studio, to see if the hype matches the day-to-day reality. First off, the design is exactly what you expect from a commercial-grade display. The bezels are only 11.4 millimeters, so when you mount two of them side by side, the gap is almost invisible. That's a real win if you ever want to create a video wall later on. The stand is optional, and the Visa pattern lets you bolt it flush to the wall without a bulky bracket. In my office, the slim profile meant I could keep the ceiling tiles clear for the air conditioning ducts, something a traditional TV would have blocked. The webOS 8 interface is where the smart claim either shines or falls flat. Right out of the box, the home screen is populated with the usual streaming apps, but you can also add a Signage tile that points to LG's Content Manager. I tested the manager by uploading a loop of promotional videos, a live Instagram feed, and a static PDF schedule. The upload process was straightforward. Drag and drop from a laptop, set the schedule, and hit apply. The monitor started playing the loop without any reboot, and the transition between video and static images was seamless. For a small business that needs to showcase services on a reception wall, that simplicity is priceless. What really matters for a commercial monitor is how it behaves when you push it. The 24-hour duty cycle rating sounds impressive, but you only notice it when the device is actually running nonstop. I left the screen on for 48 hours straight, cycling through a 4K nature documentary, a PowerPoint deck, and a simple YouTube playlist. The picture stayed consistent, no ghosting, no color drift, and the brightness held steady even after the first 24 hours. The built-in sensor automatically adjusted the backlight as the room went from bright daylight to evening dim, which helped keep the power draw reasonable. If you're planning to use the screen as a digital sign that never sleeps, the reliability factor is a genuine advantage. On the flip side, there are a few practical quirks. The HDMI ports are all standard, but the monitor only supports HDMI 2.0, which means you can't get the full 60 frames per second at 4K from a next-gen gaming console, something to keep in mind if you ever want to double use it as a gaming rig. The DisplayPort works fine for a workstation, but you have to dive into the menu to enable the PC mode. Otherwise, the default picture is tuned for TV content, with slightly oversaturated colors. I also noticed that the built-in speakers are adequate for background music, but they're not enough if you need clear dialogue without external audio equipment. So, if crisp sound is a must, you'll want a separate soundbar or AV receiver. Now, who should actually consider this screen? If you run a boutique salon, a small gym, a coffee shop, or you're a freelance designer who wants a huge, color-accurate canvas that can stay on while you edit, the LG 55UH5QE hits the sweet spot. The commercial duty cycle and the easy to manage content platform mean you spend less time fiddling with settings and more time focusing on your business. The slim bezels also make it feasible to build a multi-screen display without the visual break you get with consumer TVs. For home users who just want a big TV for movies or occasional gaming, you'll probably be overpaying for the 24-hour rating and the content manager you'll never use. A consumer-grade 55-inch OLED or QLED would give you better contrast and richer colors for a lower price, albeit without the constant guarantee. A practical weakness that showed up during my testing is the lack of built-in USB-C video input. Many modern laptops, especially the MacBook line, ship with only USB-C. You can get around this with an adapter, but it adds another point of failure and a bit of latency. Also, while the webOS platform is slick, it does lock you into LG's ecosystem for certain apps. If you rely heavily on a specific third-party digital signage solution that isn't listed in the LG store, you'll need to use a separate media player or a stick like a Chromecast. That's not a deal breaker, but it's an extra step that pure-purpose signage displays often avoid. Another real-world factor is power consumption. Running a 55-inch panel at 500 nits 24/7 will add up on the electric bill, even though the monitor does dim.